There we go. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Rhonda. Can you guys hear me okay? Does it sound good? Hi, Diane. Ignore my messy room. I'm working so hard today. Lynn, Diane, Rhonda. Can you hear me good? Okay, perfect. Oh, I'm freezing. It is so cold outside, and we have like a little cubby door down in this corner that goes underneath our stairs, and we have it open because normally when it gets down to about -15, sometimes our pipes freeze under the stairs there. So that's just keeps the warm air circulating, but now I'm cold. Hey, Cynthia, you found us. I saw you commenting on this morning's live. Yay, who's ready for Brooklyn Day 2? I don't believe how messy it all... Oh, you guys don't care. I'm on my last client order of the year. It's a Campanula crossbody. And I got it all cut out in interface today, but that's it. I gotta actually make it tomorrow. I just ran out of time today. Homework took me forever. I left it to the very last minute. I forgot how much, whatchamacallit was in that, edge coating. Hi, Kim. I'm sitting so low because I'm sitting in my low chair at this table. You're looking at the wrong live. That's a good live too. It just wasn't live anymore. That's funny. Whew. So give everybody a little bit of a chance to get on. I'm so cold that my wedding rings are even big. Like my hands are frozen. It's my first winter with this being my sewing room. It was our bedroom before, but I mean, when you're sleeping, you don't feel it when you're underneath blankets and everything, so. Should have made myself a coffee instead of water. I've been drinking way too much coffee. I need to get more water in my body. Okay, for for all of you who's here, who's sewing along with me today? What's for dinner, Cynthia? Thursdays, Dave's in charge of dinner. I think he's going to attempt a barbecue, even though there's snow all over the barbecue on the deck. Oh, I need coffee. Hi, Cheryl. Lynn and Diane are okay. Diane, have you managed to avoid the hurricane that's coming through? Isn't there another hurricane in Florida? Hi, Anna. Anna, are you sewing along with us today? Hey, Nicole. Oh, no, Kim. Okay, so you can follow along and catch up at the same time. Hi, Wanda. Watching only. Okay. Oh, Cynthia's sewing too. I was so tempted to order Chinese tonight, but I'm setting up for a craft fair tomorrow night, and Dave is coming to help me, so I think we may go out for a date dinner afterwards as a reward. Oh, Anna's sewing with me too. Yay! Oh, Lynn, everything's okay? The hurricane didn't affect you too badly, I hope? Bot's sewing along with us today. I know Dawn won't be because she finished hers. She's keener. Rhonda, you will be till about 5? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I said Into the 20s. I think in Celsius. So I'm like, that's not bad, Cheryl. We're minus 15 here today in Celsius, though. I love Chinese food too. Not the healthiest, but it sure is yummy. My tummy likes it. I'll have a nice cup of tea after class, and I'll get all warm, get some bedtime tea. Nice, Rhonda. Going out to friends' first supper. I need to get more of a social life again, I swear. I never leave the house. Supper for craft fairs and grocery shopping, it seems. Just make sure nobody is messaging me here. Nope, I guess I should get this onto my phone here so I can see it when I'm sewing. Getting organized. Been working all day. Oh, we have some pretty good Mexican restaurants here. One called Senior Froggies. It's been here for as long as I remember. I like it. Right? If you guys could hit that thumbs up button just so I know how many are in here, because it doesn't tell me anymore how many are in here. Maybe it's changed it. Let me look. I don't think so. No, it does not. That's okay. Did everybody get all their homework done? Oh, say hi to Maddie for me, Nicole. To 25 degrees Celsius is my happy place temperature-wise. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, though. Oh, yeah, for sure, Cheryl. MSG. We have one. I actually don't know if it has MSG or not. My favorite Chinese food restaurant here. I don't get a headache from it, so I'm thinking they don't, whereas the other Chinese food places here I get a headache from, and I think that might be from the MSG. I don't think there's MSG in my place that I usually go to, but yay. You need to write a list about homework. Okay, so homework was all interfacing, including, yeah, all interfacing. And edge coding if you're edge coding. I think that was it. Dawn was nice enough because I forgot to post homework in the Facebook group. She put the homework in the Facebook group for us, so that was good. Thank you so much, Dawn. I don't think she's in here. She's busy sewing, getting ready for her first fair this weekend, so she's distracted. And yay. Okay, we'll give it till about 5 after or so, and then we will get started. Okay, so far I have Anna, Cynthia, Diane, Kim, Nicole, Rhonda, Cheryl, Wanda, and Lynn. Am I missing anybody? I'm sniffling. It's not because I have a cold or anything. It's because my cat was cuddling my head and I'm very much allergic to him. So I'm suffering a little right now from allergies. The snow stopped. It's a winter wonderland out there though, which is early. Usually we don't get snow until closer to Christmas, and we definitely don't get below 0 temperatures until January. We usually only have the one cold month, but yeah, it started at the beginning of this week. Last week we were like spring temps, like plus 25 Celsius or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like minus 15. Oh, hey, Dawn. I told them you'd be distracted because you're working hard. Dawn will help admin. She's already finished her bag. So I saw your text on your NCW. She's beautiful. But the wind has stopped. We don't have blizzard-like conditions anymore, so my internet's been stable for 2 days, and my power's been stable for 2 days, which is good. you messaging, Kim? Oh, for Dawn? Dawn likes messages. All right. Excellent. I'm just taking a look at my messenger to make sure nobody's having problems getting in. Yeah, Dawn's necessary clutch wallet. She just sent a picture of it. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Do you still follow along with the class, Dawn, or you probably haven't mastered by now, I'm sure. A necessary clutch wallet, that is. Oh my gosh, my room is such a mess. You can tell I was busy all weekend because I didn't clean it at all. Really, Cheryl? A couple industrial Juki machines. What are you going for? Like an 1181 or a 1541? 1541 is kind of like what I have. It's a little bit different. Mine's more equivalent to the Thor 1541, I guess, but all 1541s are kind of the same. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Kathy, are you sewing along with us today? So Dawn has now completed 2 of these Brooklyn bags. So Dawn, feel free if I miss questions or whatever to jump in. I don't mind. I say go the 1541 if you can. The only thing I have heard, actually maybe Diane just got a Juki 1541 and she actually has the Titan 1541 too because she's got her summer home and her winter home. Diane, did you figure out if you could sew cottons with your Juki yet? The Titan, I can sew interface cottons with it and it doesn't eat it up too badly. But I think Diane with her Juki 1541 was having a hard time with sewing like linings and cottons. But then again, if you have your domestic machine, you can always use that for your linings and then use your 1541 for everything else. It's like night and day, Cheryl. Like you will be so happy. But the 1541 is for medium to heavy weight. I love my 1541. But I was originally going for the Juki, but then the Titan had a nicer price tag on it. It was about $500 cheaper, so. Okay, so Diane says as long as they're interfaced and 2 layers. Perfect. So that's similar to what mine is then. So yeah, excellent. Diane likes her Titan. You prefer the Titan over the Juki? Cynthia wants a Juki 1181. That's a good one too. That's Lauren's machine. And that one does light to medium, I think. Okay, so we'll give it till 10 after and then we will get started. Okay, Kathy's just watching. All right. You guys know you can all reach out. If you didn't see the live earlier, we did the VIP draw. Congratulations, Michelle. She chose a $25 gift card to Emmeline Bags, and I've already sent that to her. Oh yeah, Diane. So yeah, the Juki 1541 is still really sensitive with doing lighter fabrics. So the Titan is the best of all worlds because you could do everything on it. Yay. All right, let me kind of get situated for what we are going to be doing today. Is anyone doing the large size? I know Lynn is doing the traveler size. I'm doing the small. So Cheryl, if you like waterproof canvases, then you'll be fine with the 1541 for your linings. No problem. No problem. All right. Diane was having a hard time with interface cottons, Cheryl, that was eating the cottons. So she has to make sure she's got multiple layers of them for them to work. Yes, Lynn, I had posted it in the Facebook group today. And when we get to that, I will let you know. We're going to do the purse feet together today. And I have figured out the placement, I think, for the traveler as well. So when we get to that, I'll be doing the placement of purse feet. Purse feet are not in the pattern of where I think they work best, and you can definitely use your own better judgment if you don't like where I'm placing them. And I also figured out where to place them for the traveler size. I think the traveler size, I do 3 inches in from the widest part out and 1.5 up, but I'll show you. Diane's doing the large as well. Okay. Again, try to catch me if I forget to talk about the larges. Maybe Dawn, well, you might be sewing though, but if you're here and you notice that, if you can just double check my measurements for that, because I know in this Tuesday class I gave the wrong measurements for the smaller size for the connectors. I did correct it on the page, but all right, are we ready to get started? Let me just clear this away. All right. The Cocoa Bark, I'm like looking for her. I don't even hear her right now. She's been super needy. It's been really, really cold. So she hasn't been wanting to go outside and play and burn off some of her energy. So she keeps bringing me her rope and she just wants me to play and play and play. And I'm like, girl, I don't have time. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to do our connectors. Look how sparkly can you see the sparkle on my edge coat? Woo. Make sure I got the right side up than I want to be. So again, we are doing these different in the class because I did raw edge. You can definitely follow along with the pattern as well if you want to. So we're going to need our 4 rectangular rings and our 4 connector pieces and a little bit of double-sided tape and my scissors. Oh, I got a package coming here. Okay, DHL is here. I think it's Riley's package. We'll just let Coco calm down. She does not like the yellow vans either. I think the delivery people just don't see, and he walks away and she's dead quiet, so that's funny. Okay, so again, I'm using 1-inch hardware. So the way we ended up cutting these, we didn't fold them in or anything like that. It's just going to make our connectors a little bit smaller to fit the 1 inch because we'll be folding it in a little bit further. I would love to be able to show you my my demo Brooklyn, but it was the second bag that sold at my craft fair, so I don't have it anymore. It sold so fast, which I think is a really, really good sign for this bag. So I think the Brooklyn is a good seller, which is awesome. This one will be for sale at my last craft fair. Okay, so on the wrong side of each of these, you want to put a little bit of double-sided tape just at the very top. On the wrong sides. Oops, no, don't stick to my table. And you're either going to love me or hate me for doing it this way. I love doing it this way, so hopefully you do too. Okay, so I'm using 1-inch hardware. So we're going to take our rectangular rings and put these on. And we are going to fold this over. Okay, you can kind of see if I folded it over right here, which is probably where the pattern would be, you can see how it moves on my 1-inch hardware because it's meant for 3/4 inch. Okay, if you're doing The larger size, you'll have to play with it and see, but I'm just going to pull it down until it makes it into 1 inch. See what happens is the further down you go, it's more snug against my 1 inch hardware, and it's just giving us a smaller connector. And then I'm going to just stick it down like so. Okay, you can see how it goes into a 1 inch there, and it fits good. So we just got a little bit of a smaller connector piece there. If this part is going too long, because we're going to be following the stitching that we had made already, you can go ahead and just trim this back a little bit, just so it is out of the way of where we will be top stitching this in place. So go ahead and stick all of those down like that. And we want to make sure that they're all pretty much the same size. So you kind of just eyeball it. This one looks a little taller. I'm going to trim a little bit off the end just because. So this is just a hack. This is just how I do it. You're definitely more than welcome to do it the way the pattern does as well. But you just kind of wing it. Okay. I think the smaller connectors look super cute too. The same. Still a little bit too tall. So I am taking off about 1/4 inch off of this tail end, I guess it would be called, if we were to name it. Make sense? All look about the same, and they do. Okay, so everybody let me know when you're about to the same point I'm at. I'm trying to find all my rulers. There it is. Diane is done. Diane, are you doing raw edge like me? Or are you doing it like the pattern? Rhonda's done. Okay, cool. I'm a raw edge girl. Any chance that I can get to edge paint, I'll do it. I just love the look of edge painting in a bag. I think it just brings it. Lynn is ready. Who else did we have? Lynn, Rhonda, Diane, Cynthia, and Anna. Oh, doing it like me. Gotcha. Yeah. I'll give it another couple minutes. Feel like I need a massage. I'm looking forward to my Bali spa day in 18 more sleeps. Okay, Anna, no problem. Let me know how you're doing, Cynthia. Ooh, you got to play a little color paint match. Was that fun for you, Lynn? Do you enjoy doing that? I was looking at some designer bags the last time I was in Vancouver, and I had never ever noticed how many of those bags were majority was edge painting. They must go together so fast because they're all raw edge. Said edge painting was my whole day today pretty much. This bag just is crazy a lot of edge painting. Okay, we'll give it one more minute. All right, so now what we're going to do is, and I learned this from the demo bag, that I found it needs to have 2 rivets, one as close as you can possibly get to the hardware, because it was really stressing my threads out. If you guys watched the tutorial, you would have noticed that. So I'm going to measure down 3/4 of an inch from this top edge here, or not from the top, from the folded over edge over the hardware. And I am going to draw a line across, and that's just going to give us a stitching guide for a line. And then what we'll end up doing is we'll end up putting a rivet here and a rivet there once we have it all in. So go ahead and draw that 3/4 of an inch line. Just got to make sure that the back part of the connector we folded over is longer than that 3/4 of an inch, because we want to be catching that when we sew across there. Cheryl is done. All right, Cheryl is sewing along too. Okay, let's go ahead and mark all of those 3/4 of an inch lines. Oops, that's not very straight. Again, they're just going to be guidelines for when we actually take this to the machine. I find it helps me keep this line nice and straight. And I said, you guys may or may not hate me for this, because we're actually going to stitch over the stitching that we did on this already, on the top stitching when we sew this to the main panels of the bag. It's pretty easy if you just take it nice and slow and make sure you know where your needle is at all times. Okay. I'm not drawing straight lines at all. Holy moly. Straight. That's better. That was not very straight either. Good thing this stuff comes off. There we go. The large one, I would do it as well. The more rivets, the better. Yep. And you can also go ahead and on the back side apply some double-sided tape, and that's going to help us hold it in place. Just make sure you're keeping it away from where we will be sewing. So especially if you're on a domestic, I'm not too worried about my machine because it'll just sew through it. But if your machine does not like double-sided tape, make sure you keep it outside of where we will be stitching this in place. Make sense? Cynthia's done. Okay, so I'll give everybody about 2 or 3 minutes to get to this point. Again, if you need more time, please do shout out and let me know. Oh, I cut off too much. And this bag goes together so stinking fast. You guys are going to be so impressed. Diane is done. So if you did your homework, you should have something that looks like this on the back. So I'm using cotton. So I actually used an EB Fuse medium just to make mine a little bit thicker for all my pieces. You can definitely use an EB Fuse light or a medium woven interfacing. And then I have a piece of EB Fuse heavy or Decavol light for where that foam piece was, and it's because I did not have fusible foam, so I decided to use EB Fuse Heavy or Deckable Light. So, but before we do this, we want to make sure that that part is done. Okay, Rhonda's done. Lynn is done. So everybody has their interfacing all done? Now this is where you're going to see on the pattern piece. This is how big that connector is supposed to be, and it is way smaller. It still looks super cute though, if you're doing the 1-inch hardware, but it still turned out super cute. Otherwise I wouldn't be showing this. What would you use with a thin canvas? For the interfacings, the same as what I've used with this. So I would use a woven interfacing on the whole piece, and then I would use a Deckable Light for this middle piece. Or if you have a fusible foam, you could use that as well. Or you could glue your foam in. I myself don't like fusible foam, but that's just a Brandy thing. So I used EB Fuse Heavy, which is like Deckable Light. But that middle section, you definitely want to have structure, because that is what's going to help give this bag a boxy shape, is that this middle section right here. So this piece of interfacing is very, very, very important. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to take our pattern piece, and I'm not using vinyl, so I better make sure I use a cotton pen. And all I did was at the very top here, I cut where the, just cut a slit where the marking is, where we're supposed to line up our, there, interface on vinyl too. Yes, Cheryl, when I did my vinyl one, I didn't interface the whole piece. I just put a Deckable Light or EB Fuse Heavy in this middle piece. You definitely want to have this piece in there, because that's what's going to give it its shape, because you got to realize this is going to kind of fold down upon itself like this, and that's what's going to give it that, see how it makes that shape? Oh, you did 2 layers of EB Fuse Heavy? Oh, that's going to be a stiff bag, Lynn. Let me know how that works for you. Oh, for the bottom, yes. Yes, 2 layers of EB Fuse Heavy is almost equivalent to a Peltex or Deckable Heavy, so that's a good idea on the bottom, yeah. There's a pattern piece for that, Cheryl. There's a pattern piece for the stabilizer. Let me find it. It's for foam. Oh, it would be over here. So this is my handbag size one. It looks like this. So handbag size main panel foam. This is this shape here. Another thing you could do is you could put the foam down if you didn't have usable foam, and then take a piece of medium woven interfacing and put it over top of it. So kind of baste it in or spray it in or whatever with a little bit of glue, and then take your SF101 or whatever and put it over top of it all, and then iron that, and then just make sure you iron right along here, and that helps hold that foam in there as well. All right, Cheryl, so we're going to keep moving on. If you have any questions, though, definitely reach out. I will watch for it, and of course we have Dawn, who has finished making the bag, so she can help as well. Okay, so now we're going to use our cotton piece, our main panel pattern piece, and we're going to line it up. We want to make sure our little cutouts are facing to the top, and we are going to make a mark where that handle connector is going to go. So right there. And on this side too. I didn't cut this very good. That's okay. I'm going to just kind of even that up a little bit. Look at my bad cutting. Bad, Brandy. Oh my gosh. I'm not used to my new desk yet. I'm just going to even this up a little bit because I kind of went a little all along with my cutting here. Just fix that. Like so. And then you're going to take your connectors and take that tape off the back of them. And you're going to line right where that fold is, where the connector or the rectangular ring goes on, and you're going to line it up with that line and stick it down. Oh, it's okay, Dawn. Cheryl is going to just be a little bit behind because she's got to go and put her the stabilizer piece in right here. Okay, so you can do that with both pieces, and then we're going to sew these on, and I'll show you how we're going to do that here momentarily. And again, you're either going to love me or hate me for how we're going to do this. You know what? When you're choose the ones you like the best for the front. Those ones will be good for the front. This one is kind of a cut weird, but we'll make this one the back piece. Okay, this one is done. Do this one. Line that up. I'm liking my fussy cutting. I think I did a good job. So I got this little guy centered. I had to change out my hardware. I was missing one rectangular ring, so I switched to nickel instead of rainbow, but it goes with the glitter, so it's all good. All right. So everybody let me know when you're there. You can start to see how small this bag is actually going to be when the handle connectors on the small are that far apart only. I'm just going to redraw in my lines just because I wipe them off when I put those on. My Tandy leather pen wipes away so nice. There we go. And I'm going to just check my camera for Tiffany while I wait because, oh no, she's not bad. My dog bumped it earlier, so. Check my bobbin, make sure I have enough in there. Rhonda's ready. I don't have very much in there, so I'm just going to switch to a full bobbin. There we go. Diane is ready. I'll give another 2 minutes. I'll hold that out so I can. Was anybody putting the crossbody strap onto theirs? The crossbody connectors, or is everybody leaving them off like me? Lynn is ready. Okay, so what we're going to end up doing is, usually I would pull my threads long. I'm not going to because these connectors I find need just a little bit extra stability with how the bag is shaped. It just seems to put more stress on them. Okay, so I don't think anybody's doing the off like me. Okay, good. I don't think the way the crossbody connectors in this are, the strap connectors, I know Lauren had the same problem. They don't last, so I think it's just best to leave them off. So we're going to start in the middle of this line that we just drew and do a little bit of a back stitch. Follow it across to where our top stitching line was from when we did our connectors. And we are going, you guys are going to hate me, we are going to follow that line of stitching and just kind of stitch right into the same places. You're going to see me go super slow because I'm going to do a lot of hand cranking. It's not a very big space to have to stitch, so hand cranking is fine. And it's just so I know where my needle is landing. So I'm going exactly as close as I possibly can over top of that line. So starting in the middle of the line we just drew, do a little bit of a back stitch across, follow our line of stitching around. When we get back to that line, pivot, go across and do another little bit of back stitching. And we're going to do that on all four. Does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody need me to explain that a little bit more? This is the most tedious part of this, I promise you. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So on my demo bag, I didn't actually do the back stitch. I pulled my threads long and under, and I just found it just needed more. And I think it's because I'm using vinyl or what have you, but I'm just going to be very careful with my stitches. Again, I'm starting right in the middle of that line that I just drew. One more time, please. Okay, let me go back to the screen here. Okay, so the line we just drew here, we're going to start in the middle, do a back stitch. We're going to go across, and then we're going to follow our top stitching in this U shape all the way around. So we're going right over top of the stitching that we had done when we made our connectors. When we get to the line again, we're going to go across, meet where we started, and do another little back stitch. Does that make sense, Cynthia? You said you're either going to love me or hate me for this way, but following that line is sometimes hard. You could also go ahead and just do a line 1/4 of an inch in, but then it's going to be kind of floppy on the side. So it's just a lot better just to take your time. If you take your time, you'll have no problems following that line. If it goes off a little bit, do you know what? Honestly, I don't think anybody will notice but you. Okay. And you will see me like I usually do a lot of hand cranking so I can find where my needle is going to go. Okay, so I'm a little bit on top of my hardware here, so I'm just going to take a little scrap of vinyl and put it behind just to protect my vinyl. Top stitch. See, what I'm doing is I'm hand cranking it, but it's such a small little piece that it may take a little bit of time, but trust me, it is so worth it. Or if you are a lot better at stitching over the same things, go for it. I am not that talented. On the straight stretches, I'm pretty good. Like right here, I can do it. It's just when I get to the curvy parts. Do you, Dawn? Perfect. You can definitely do a double line if you wanted to. Or double line like going over top like this, or doing a second line. And it's all a lot about preference. I teach these classes or show these classes my way, like the way I prefer to do things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way. It works for me. Make sure you backstitch. And then double check that you caught that part of the connector that folded into the back. I can tell because I can feel it down here. And so this is leaving us room to put a rivet right in the middle here and then right above that stitch line there. So let's do all four. Oh, one on top of the other. I really like it in the Brooklyn just because, I don't know if you found it, Dawn, when you made it, that I find that anything that has to do with the connectors in this one just don't seem, to me, maybe it's because I'm using vinyls, might be different if I was using cottons, just didn't seem super secure to me. But if I was actually doing these connectors as per the pattern and with cottons like it recommends and lightweight vinyls, it may be different. I don't know. So this is my first time making this bag too. Like, this is only the second one I've ever made. It doesn't weaken my vinyl. No. I think as long as you're using a really good quality vinyl, you should be perfectly fine. We're also going to be adding in those rivets, and that definitely helps save the vinyl, but I double stitch over top of my vinyl lots and it doesn't do it. It doesn't seem to weaken it. But again, I use really good quality vinyl. As long as you're not using anything really cheap, you should be fine. I've never had problems with anything like that with Galaxy Customs or Emmeline Bags vinyl, which is really the only vinyls I use, or the Daytona vinyls from Fabricville. I don't have issues with those either, never. But they're all like marine vinyl grade, so. But I said the rivets are going to take a lot of stress off of these stitches. So rivets are amazing for that, for taking stress off of connectors. I am a rivet girl. If you don't have a rivet press, go buy one. It's definitely worth it. All right. So that's one done. Can you guys even see that? There you go. It's kind of glittery, but you can kind of see. Okay, I'm going to do the other one. Kim, you should have absolutely no problems on if you're using Galaxy Customs vinyl, because it's awesome. Right, Anna? You agree too, Lynn, the Galaxy Customs is awesome? We're not biased at all because Anna is in the classes, right? We're biased. Plus, she's awesome, and she's our friend. She's probably laughing right now. So you guys aren't killing me for this way of doing it? It's not too bad? Kim, you had some issues with some vinyls from well-known places, but love Galaxy Customs. Galaxy Customs, Anna really does well, and I know we're talking to her like she's not here when she is in class, but she does her research, that's for sure. So worth it. So worth the shipping too, in my opinion. To make sure you can get a vinyl that you can trust, especially when you're reselling these bags. Oops, I lost my thingy. So you can see it's not taking me too long to get all of them done, even when I'm hand cranking. Anna says, well, I do try to sell only high quality vinyl, so I can't argue with you there. Dawn, you like doing the connectors my way? Yay! I mean, we could have done them like the pattern and folded them under, but I'm like, bleh, I don't like it. That just seems like too much work. And this way we get to play with edge paint. Then again, I may be making different kind of new work with the stitching, but I think it looks good. And again, you guys don't have to be doing it the way I am. You could definitely at this point follow along with the pattern and do it as per the pattern. But I figured these connectors really aren't that big. Oops, I'm hitting my bowl. Definitely worth it. And there's lots of tutorials on this bag doing it as per the pattern too. So of course I like to also offer tutorials of an ulterior way of doing it as well. Alternative way. You know me. So that's what I did. It makes me a little bit different than everybody else too, right? Okay, so that's all 4 of mine on. Everybody let me know when you are done, and then I'll show you where the rivet placement will be. Definitely worth it. Awesome. I was so happy when my demo bag sold right away. I think, because I posted it on my Facebook page beforehand, and it was the one done in the Lauren dice vinyl, and I had dice pulls on it, and I had 3 couples come and look at it, and the wives were like, I need that bag. I need that bag for Christmas. You better get me that bag for Christmas. And they all walked away. And then the 3 husbands came back. So their wives must be into Dungeons and Dragons or gaming or whatever those dice are for. Because then they started having, so of course I gave it to the first person there, right? First come, first serve. But the 3 of them, like the other 2 guys started going, I'll give you $20 more than he's paying. And that next guy, I'll give you $50 more than he's paying. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's not fair. He's already here. He got it first. He gets it, guys. But I'm like, man. Aw, Kim is sweet. And if you want to branch out into the States, I would be willing to help so others can experience your vinyl. That's awesome. Lynn is done. Lynn, you're speedy fast. Holy. That wasn't so bad, Cynthia? No, it's not too bad. I'm actually just going to take my, just because I'm using a bonded, trying not to burn my leather or my vinyl too much. I just want to fray, or those little edges from my back stitching. I'm just going to kind of melt those things. Okay, so you guys don't hate me too much for that method. I was so worried you were going to be so mad at me. Okay, where did I put my rivets now? There they are. Okay, so Cynthia, you're done. Lynn is done. I'm so glad you didn't find it so bad. I was stressed out a little bit. So I kept trying to pre-warn you. Don't hate me. Don't hate me for what I'm going to do to you. Feel like my sweater's falling out. I've actually lost 10 pounds and my pants are falling down. And my sweater is just way too big. But that's good. Finally, weight after hysterectomy is finally starting to come off. So I'm happy. Okay, so we'll give it another 2 minutes or so. Oh, you saw how I handled the oval bottoms. You just got a sneak peek, hey? That's oval bottoms and round bottoms. I struggle huge with them. I know a lot of people do. I do too. And doing it that way saved my sanity. I was so glad that I thought about doing it that way, and I hope you guys will agree. I know some people like to staple their bottoms and all that. I don't do that. I'll forget a staple in there. Some people like to hand sew them. I've done that. You would have seen me do it in the Brisa tutorial that I did, but this way is so much better. Rhonda is ready. Okay, we'll give it 1 more minute and then we will move on. You will need your marking pen. and rivets in your rivet press. We're going to do it all. This one we can't, there won't be too much for homework just because we kind of have to do it as we go. So you guys are still liking having the tutorial available for the beginning of classes? It's helpful. Kind of watch the sped up version and then come to class for the slowed down version. Okay, so now for rivet placement. I hope you guys can see this. It is so incredibly dark in here. I wonder if this, no, that doesn't help. I do have lights over top of this, but it just seems super dark. So I found, now in the tutorial you would have saw me sew right up against the hardware, and that's when I discovered that my stitches were stressed right out. So that's why we did a lower line. So we're going to do a rivet right in the middle here, and you're going to feel and you're going to be catching that part of the connector that we folded down in beneath and in behind. So we're going to be putting that rivet through that, and then we're going to put one, here's that line that we stitched across here. You can measure, I guess they're about a 1/2 inch or so from that middle line. I just eyeball it, and I'm going to put one right in the middle right there. And I like to go and mark on all of mine whereabouts I'm going to put those rivets. And then this is going to make sure these straps or these connectors are super secure. Like how this bag folds over, the handles are a little different, like the connectors are a little different because they kind of go up and around the curve. It's really bizarre, but it gives it this really cool look. So I shouldn't call it bizarre, I guess. Okay, and then we are going to go ahead and, best ready thing I bought. Ah, Kim. It's all good. We're all still beautiful. I had my hysterectomy. Was on bed rest for like 12 weeks, like a month before my hysterectomy, and then 8 weeks after my hysterectomy, and gained about 25 pounds from that, and then ended up going back to work for a few months, then got laid off, and then COVID hit, and then I got laid off. So it's just been whatever. Okay, so when we do our rivets, we want to make sure we're also backing them with scrap pieces of either Decaville Heavy or Peltex. Okay, so this is where I keep all, like, I don't waste any Peltex or Decaville Heavy scraps. I always end up cutting them into like squares to back behind everything. So I'm going to attempt to use, I've never ever used my hole punch here, but I'm going to use it on this. Let's make sure I can see if I can get it nice and straight. I never use this one, and I should. Go ahead and punch your holes. Oh, we'll see. Oh, it actually did a nice hole. Sweet. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and punch all my holes first. I always forget that I have this pink one with my rivet die, my rivet hole punch die. I don't like it because I sometimes don't get my holes right where I want them to be, but I figured I have to start practicing because this does make things a lot easier. Right there. Does that look right? No, right there. Okay. So it's just a spiky thing down here, see? It's my Gold Star press to go with my 9mm rivet setter too. So go ahead and set all of your rivets. We never do rivets in class. It's always homework, but this one is really hard to have homework for this bag once you get it going. Just because you need these done before we can go on to the next step. Is that right? Okay. My little awl to push through my holes. Just because my vinyl is thick because I'm using glitter vinyl. I'm using glitter vinyl on the bottom and everything, but We're going to be turning this bag different so it won't be sticking to itself, which is nice. If I start singing the new Meghan Trainor song, I completely apologize. It is completely in my head. Okay, I might have to use my large rivets. We will see. Let's try the medium ones first. No, medium is fine. So there's my post there. Take my Decaville heavy scrap and put it over the post. And then put the cap on. So I'll do one side first and then I will set them and then I'll do the other side. Push these all in. I'd actually completely forgotten about this hole punch until I moved into this room. I'm like, oh look, I bought that and I had never used it. That song is so in my head right now. I'm doing everything in my power not to be singing to you guys right now. It's a terrible song, but I love it. Okay. Thing I love about this table is being able to have my rivet presses right there. If anybody's looking for a sewing table, I definitely recommend this one. It is amazing. I love it. Okay, so that's one panel done, and that's what it looks like. Doesn't that look pretty? That one went a little off kilter, but that's okay. Why aren't you going through? There we go. Oops, wrong one. Already 5 o'clock. Man, it always blows my mind how fast time goes in class. Get in there. There we go. Okay. Those away. Let's set these ones. Then when you're using rivet press, that's satisfying where you feel it pop into place. I love it. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right. You guys let me know when you're to that point. I can wear my Louis Vuitton. I'm singing outside my voice, my head. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Cynthia's done. Get things out of the camera view so you guys aren't overstimulated by the messiness of what is my workstation. Gotta run away with it. Lynn is done. I'm gonna give it another 3 minutes or so. I think I gotta get rid of these pants. They're falling down. I'm very happy with my fussy cutting. I think that's perfect center point right there. It's gonna be good. As long as I made it so these will, yeah, I'm happy. Did we lose Rhonda? Did you leave yet? I know it's 5 o'clock now. Now it's pitch black outside. Super dark. Okay, another 2 minutes or so. Rhonda's done. Are you leaving us now, Rhonda? Hey, Lauren, how are you? So glad you could pop in. Are you making the Brooklyn, Lauren? 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock in British Columbia. That's funny. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your overlay pieces. Did everybody edge paint? Look at my glitter edge paint. Woo! Everybody edge paint along this center edge here, right along here. Doesn't have to be edge painted. I think it just adds a little extra finish to it. We want to take these, want to fold them in half and find our bottom centers. Not the top, just the bottom. Do not clip into this, just into this bottom one. Oh, you're going at 5:30. Okay. You'll be mad at yourself if you do it along the top. You're just doing it along the bottom. So you should have your center snips in the top and the bottom of these. I already did that for when I was placing this nice and centered in here. Okay. So on the back side, what we want to do is use some double-sided tape or glue, whichever you prefer. That's a little piece. You want to make sure you're keeping this glue, especially if you're on a domestic, outside of the 1/8 of an inch top stitch line and the 3/8 of an inch line on the bottom. So you don't want to be sewing through it, especially, oh, you did this already, Lynn? There you go, it's okay. You're ahead of the game then. So I'm going to put one along the bottom. I'm going to put one right here and one on this side. Okay. Let's just take this long bottom one off, and I am going to match up those center snips like so. And just make sure, because we know how I cut, like look how far off I am. Not bad on this side. Make sure that is nice and centered. I'm really crooked here, like my stitching is bad, or my cutting was really bad. So I'm just gonna fix it. You guys probably don't have that problem. That's probably just me. Once you got that bottom stuck where you want it to be, go ahead and take this top tape off. And if you just kind of let the overlay fall, it's going to go perfectly where you want it to go. See? And then give it a press down. See how it just fell into place? Watch it again. It just falls into place, and then just spread it down. Do the same with the other side. Oops, I need more. Got glitter everywhere. I love glitter. See, this one I cut better. And right up at the bottom there. Like so. You can see here, see? I cut it bad again. I admit I am a very lazy cutter, especially when it's cottons. But is that black patent vinyl from Galaxy? No, Dawn, it's glitter. See? It's the black dice glitter vinyl from Galaxy. Can you see the glitter in it? Glittery. Okay, so then once you have those stuck in, you're going to go ahead and you are going to top stitch with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance all along here. And then the other 3 raw edges, you're just going to baste those with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and you're going to do that on both pieces. So go ahead and do that, and then we will reconvene at the table. Let me know when you are all done. Ooh, oh, it almost got away from me. And you're going to see me hand crank around these corners just because my machine goes so fast. I want to make sure I know where they're going. Make sure your top stitching looks good. Yeah, it doesn't really show the glitter well on the camera because of the light shining down, I think. Because I have so many lights on here. This is a very dark room. And if I just went by the light of the room, you guys wouldn't be able to see what I was doing at all. It's very hard to work in here at night, being in the basement and all. But I have like a photo light right there, and I have my lights all above me. Double check. Looks good. No, I am a chronic hand cranker. I just like my top stitching to be perfect on curves. Okay, so now that part is done, and I'm just going to baste the other edges. Yeah, I work in a dungeon too. One day I may move upstairs when Brady moves out and take over his room, but I actually kind of like this room. This room is actually the den, and Dave and I used it as our master bedroom. Brady has the master bedroom upstairs, And then Riley actually lives in the rec room. And then we have two other really small bedrooms. Like, this house is the same age as me. It was built in 75. And the rooms aren't huge. So we just kind of all moved into whatever room was biggish. Okay, so that's one done. Oh, I'm so happy with how that glitter looks. It looks good. Okay, I'm gonna base this one on the bottom first now. You can tell Riley's home because the dogs are fairly quiet. But now he's just gone in his room. I think he's going to play his video games with his friends. So we'll see if the dogs start being needy. All right, I'm all done. You guys let me know when you're done. Ouch. Oh, I hit my knee. Looks pretty good. That's how it looks in the back. I hear Coco coming downstairs. Okay, this might mess a little bit. Lynn, you're like neck and neck with me. Excellent, she's done. Kaylin, do you know how to do the zipper pocket with overlay like I do? Do you do it that way already? Do you know what I'm talking about? You are our newest member, so I thought I would ask for this part. Are you going to be doing something like this? Or are you going to be doing it like the pattern? Oh, so you know how to do this? Excellent. Okay, perfect. So I may make this part homework because I know that everybody's in class here knows how to do the zipper pockets this way because we do them with all the bags. For the small, I'm not sure where you're going to place it on the large. You may have to eye it, but I think I just moved ahead of everybody. But it's going to be homework. On the small, I'm going to be placing mine down 2.5 inch, no. So you see where this cutoff is? You want to make sure two inches. So this opening here on the small, it likes it to be 2 inches down. So I just kind of put my ruler here to 2 inches and then take my overlay, and I know that is where that's going to lie. And that's where I'm going to install it. I actually might go just a little bit lower. It's kind of an eyeball thing. You want it to be down below these little notches. So is everybody comfortable doing their overlays for homework and doing their zipper pockets for homework, leaving the bottom open, or do you want me to do it with you today? Just I know that this is something that we've done a couple times, so if you guys are comfortable doing it, then we can move on. It's just a matter of eyeballing where you want your placement of it to be. You want it to be below these notches. Like how much below? So I have this placed 3/4 of an inch below the notches here, centered, is where I would put mine for the small one. For the large one, I would make sure it's about 3/4 of an inch below these side notches as well. Is everybody comfortable doing those for homework? With those measurements? Just make sure your overlay is 3/4 of an inch lower than these side notches. I know I usually give it for homework. So if everybody could do that, and if for some reason you are uncomfortable doing this, let me know before next Thursday, and I can go live homework next Thursday to do these with you if you need to learn. There is a class on how to do it as well if you needed to do that, but I know we've done them over and over and over, so rather than repeat ourselves, we're good. You're all good doing that. Okay, so yeah, just make sure that your overlay, the top of your overlay is sitting at least 3/4 of an inch below the bottom part of, see the notch there? Bottom part of this notch. So you want to start them right about there or so. So that'll be homework. Another thing that'll be homework is deciding which of these panels you want to be your front panel. And you are going to install your nameplate or handmade signs right in this. I liked it right in this area. I'm going to be putting mine right across here actually because it's got a really nice accent. So it's just kind of eyeball in my fabric. That's where my fabric says I want to put it. So this little cutout here is so nice to center your nameplate and your handmade tag. You're all good. Perfect. So homework, Dawn, if you can make note for me in case I forget, if you're still there. I don't know if you're still feeding your dog. So zipper pocket in the lining with an open bottom of the zipper pocket, and nameplate will be for homework because I want to get to the purse feet for the small and the large. All right, everybody's comfortable with that? Awesome. And if you're deciding to put a slip pocket in, I'm not putting a slip pocket in this one. Hi, Dawn. All right. Let's pull out our bottom panels and talk purse feet, because purse feet are not, did I pull out enough purse feet? I did. They are not in the pattern, but I like purse feet in my bags a lot. So for the small, I recommend 5 purse feet. For the large, I recommend 6 purse feet. So I will explain the placement on both. I'm going to grab my pattern pieces for the large. I will explain the large first, and then we will do the small, just because you guys will watch me do the small, but you won't watch me do the large. So this is my, see, this is my lovely pattern piece for the large bottom. So imagine this is your bottom panel. So the widest part on this side here, that's where I'm going to measure in 3 inches, okay? And then from the straight edge here, I'm going to measure up 1.5 inches. So, and that is where I think the placement is really good for the large. Again, you can do it whatever your preference is. So then this other one would be right above it, right about there. And I think that would be really good placement for purse feet. So you do the same on the other side. So you got one there, one there. So 3 inches in from the, where it's the widest here, measured in, 1.5 up, and then you just make them match up, and that's where you're going to place it. Again, if you want to use your own measurements, you can. This is just where I would do it if I was doing the large. I would also do them right in the center here at 1.5 inches up. So one right here and one right here. And then of course the 2 more on the other side. So for the large, that would be my recommendation. I think because the bottom is so big, you definitely need 6 purse feet for this. And I think that those measurements will definitely work for you. Does that answer everybody who's doing the traveler size question about where to place the purse feet? Just because this pattern doesn't have them. Any questions about that before I move to the small? So then you can go ahead and you can install those purse feet in those marks for the large traveler size. So again, it was 3 inches from this wide side and 1.5 inches up, and then just kind of bring them in to match. Same with the other side, in the middle, and then 2 more. I was thinking you could get away with 5, but I just think it's because it's so wide. Like this bag, like seriously, look how much bigger this, if I put the center to center, look how much bigger the traveler size is going to be than the small handbag. Like the size between the two it's tremendous. Okay, moving on to the small. Again, you can decide your own placement. This is just what worked for me. So once again, from kind of the widest part of this, I'm going to measure in 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line. That's 2 inches. Do I want to go further? Do you know what? I think 2.5 inches from here, from the widest side, is better than 2 inches. And then 1.5 from the bottom. So we're looking right there. So if you're looking at, all right, 2.5, 2 3/8. So if you want to do it this way, so from here to here is 1.5 inches, and from here to here, when you're at that mark where we want to put it, it's about 2 3/8. Does that make sense? I really just eyeball it usually. I'm just trying to give you guys some kind of measurement on each side. Two and a half. So that's 2.5. I'm going to move it down to 1.5. Deciding where to put purse feet on oval and round bottoms is hard. I admit it. Okay. And then this one, I also like to do one in the middle. Right smack dab in the middle. So 1, 2, 3. Kind of decide where your middle is. Right there. There's my middle. Oh, and before you install them, some of you have probably already started. It's okay, you can still do this. We want to find our top and bottom centers and our 2 side centers. So that's usually a lot easier to do when you don't have the purse feet installed yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and put my small little clips. You can also just do markings if you prefer. And then this way as well. Any questions about that placement? Center, yep. And we need these rounded centers to be really accurate because we're going to be putting little connectors there, as weird as that sounds. So definitely make sure, like I'm not nice and center at all. Let's try this again. Just a smidgen off. That's better. Good enough. Okay, so go ahead and install your purse feet. And then we're going to do the connectors on the sides, and then that is it for today. This bag goes together so incredibly fast. Like, seriously. I'm starting to talk like a valley girl like I did when I was in high school. Like, seriously. Where'd my hole go? Where are you? Did I mark you in the middle? I did. There it is. Oh, it's right there. I can't find my slit for the middle one. There it is. And again, feel free to decide where you want your own purse feet to be. This, just because I want them this way doesn't mean it's where they have to be. And you don't even really need to have them. It's completely up to you. They're not in the pattern. I just really like to bling my bags up. I don't have enough in this one. Not quite. Same, we never do purse feet in class either. That's usually homework too. Let's come apart. They're good, yeah. I'm just gonna put my, oh, I have to buy some more Gorilla Tape. I think Dave is going to Princess Auto tomorrow. He can buy me some more. Ah, I like that piece. Said I always like to put duct tape over top. I always use, well, this one's Gorilla Tape. I like to use white tape just in case I have a lighter colored fabric. I find it doesn't, even though this side's gray, but in my head it doesn't show as much. Ah, sticky. Go. All right. I'll give everybody about 5 minutes or so. We only have one more thing to do. Well, it's two more, well, a couple more steps. And then we'll be done for the day. Just cleaning the space here a little. Cleaning as I go. I never do that. See, not too bad so far, hey? It's actually a pretty easy bag. And it's going to go together like a pouch, believe it or not. And we're going to use the Wanda Brandy method of putting on the bottom. Turning through the bottom. That's the new thing. Steve and I learn things in class. All right, I'm going to sit and rest my back while we wait. Is everyone putting purse feet on their bags? Yeah. What do you think of that placement, Lynn? Is it good for you? I'm just going off the pattern piece because I've never made the large one before, so. I agree, Kathy. They do give it a finished look. Okay, good, Lynn. So my guesstimation of numbers is good. Perfect. So a lot of the time, like when it comes to stuff like this that I add in when it's not in the pattern, I eyeball it. Even when I do my zipper overlays, I never really measure it down or anything like that. I just kind of eyeball where to put them. So, but I know that doesn't always work when I'm trying to show you guys where to put them. So awesome, Rhonda. Be safe. Have a great dinner. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I talk to Rhonda every day. I talk to all my mids every day. So. I'll give everybody about 4 more minutes. I keep singing. Cynthia's done. Placement looks good, Cynthia. You agree with my measurements too? Give it till about 35 after. Awesome. Again, if you guys ever have any suggestions that you think would look better, please do tell me. I mean, we discovered that last month's class where Wanda gave a good tip on how we left an opening in the bottom when we turned one of the bags, and she just added in a little extra thing that just made all the difference. So between her and I, we invented a really good way of doing it. I think that's what it's called, the Wanda Brandy method. We're gonna do the Wanda Brandy method with this bag as well as with the Tuesday bag for birthing it. So Wanda Brandy method is my favorite new method for birthing a bag. Oops, I yawn away. I only had 1 cup of coffee today. My goodness, I need more. Another couple minutes. Maybe I need this one. One more minute. You like the Brandy method? Awesome. I need to find a sticker to put over top of this. Need a nice square sticker to cover that up. Big picture of Coco maybe, hey? Awesome, Lynn's almost done. How are you doing, Cheryl? Oh, do you want to quickly go and cut it, Cynthia? I don't remember how big these are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches by 2 inches. If you're doing 1-inch rings. I don't know if I have another Okoko sticker. I don't think it will fit over top of that. I think it's too small. I've got one sticker left. But no, it's not big enough. See? Need a bigger one. One more? Okay, we'll hold off Diane. Give everybody another 4 minutes or so maybe to get those done. This part is not going to take long at all. Here, this one is good for today, just because I keep singing. We can put this over top of there. There we go. Just because I keep singing that song. There we go. That works. Anna, make me a special sticker to cover up this thing. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This part is 5 inches by 2 inches. It's just ugly. But I really like the cutting mat. It's nice and big. Lynn is ready. Okay, we'll just wait for Diane there. Cheryl, how are you making out? Are you still out there? Then again, if there's a sticker there, I might cut. No, I wouldn't cut in. Well, I might cut into it. I don't know. I think if I had a sticker there, I would probably cut it by accident because this is a cutting table. So, okay. So now we're going to take our D-ring connector piece. Again, use clips if you don't want to use tape. We have our center line drawn down the middle. And it's just like any connector we have done before. I'm going to just put double-sided tape down each side. Or you could use a thicker piece of double-sided tape in the middle. I don't have very much of my 1/2 inch double-sided tape. I have tons of 1/4 inch, so I tend to use my 1/4 inch more than the other. Then fold these long sides into that center line. And then go ahead and top stitch the folded sides right here with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on each side to hold it in place. Coffee in, coffee out. Bathroom break. When you're funny. Hi, Coco. I think my husband might be home maybe. Or Brady. I bet Brady's home. Brady works on Tuesdays and Thursdays and he works till 5 and he walks home because he doesn't drive. Okay. Easy as that. Everybody let me know when you have that done. I love how this month's bags are not stressful bags. Last 2 months we have had, actually last 3 months, we've had some really, really intense bags. I mean, they all turned out fantastic, but man, they were intense for sure. Yeah, it'll be so weird not doing a class next week or next month. It'll give some of you a chance to go back through the old classes even and check those out. Have you had a chance to do that yet, Lynn? There are a lot of classes. We've done, it's been, I think this is our 9th month doing this already. Like, it's crazy. And in July, we started doing 2 bags a month, so. Diana's ready. So yeah, with that new tier being added in, the Thursday group can now, well, it won't happen yet because it's for any video, any of the classes that are 6 months old. All members can see all classes, but you will not, the Thursday group won't see the Tuesday classes just yet because they didn't happen till July. So you'll get to see the Tuesday classes in July, August, September, October, November. Oh, in December? No, January. You've become accustomed to your faces. Okay, so now once we've got this D-ring connector piece done, you want to fold it together, short sides together, wrong sides together like so, and then cut right along that fold line to make 2. It's very much like what we did in Tuesday's class when we made our connectors. So now we have 2. And then on the wrong side of these, you want to go ahead and put just a little bit of double-sided tape on the bottom of each of them. Or you can use a clip, of course. You don't have to use tape. Then you're going to take your D-ring, take off the tape, let go. Slide the D-ring on so the flat side is against the wrong side, and then fold it wrong sides together, matching up those short ends like so. Again, if you don't want to use tape, you could just use a clip like this right there if you wanted to. Same with the other side. Just like that. And then lastly, what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece, and remember these centers that we marked on the sides? You're going to center this, the raw side to raw side, so our D-ring is facing towards our purse feet, as centered as you possibly can. So I actually have my little, you can see how I have my little cutout here, lined up with a line on my cutting table, and then I can kind of see about the center of my connector here. And then I'm just going to secure that with 2 clips like so. And do the same on the other side. Make sure it's nice and centered. It's important. You want it to be centered because this is what's going to end up giving our bag that boxy shape. These connectors are actually fairly important. And then we are going to baste these connectors on with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So don't do an 1/8, do a 1/4 inch seam allowance to baste those on. Oh, that was a weird honk. And that's it. That's it for this class. We got a lot done. Holy. And that's what that looks like right there. So these are eventually going to fold up, and that's what's going to be what our sides come down and clip to. So that's what we should have. We're finished 15 minutes early. Any questions about anything we did today? So homework is pretty minimal, actually. It is, I should write it down. I'm going to forget. Let me write it down so I remember to put it up tomorrow. Nameplates. Lining zipper pocket with an open bottom. And I think that's it. Am I forgetting anything? I think that was it. Nameplate, lining zipper pocket, open bottom. Am I missing anything? I think that's it. So again, very minimal homework. Like, that will take no time. Yay! You're done too. You guys happy with how yours looks so far? That was it? Awesome, Dawn. Thank you. I appreciate you taking notes because I'll forget. So there is a good chance we may actually, depending on how well we do next week, there's a good chance we could actually get this whole thing done next week. We may be done a week early. Yeah. And this bag, again, mine sold so fast it surprised me. So this one will go to the fair once I'm done the bag. Of course, we'll end up at my fair that falls around. It's either my second or my last one or my second to last one. Diane, the small one is so cute. How's your large one turning out? You like it? Thanks, Lauren. Thank you so much for popping in. Okay, so before you guys go, do you know what? Lynn, 2 different colors. It all works. It's fun. Nobody sees the bottom. Again, I apologize because I was nagging everybody for Daryl's drive and their take 3s, and then I didn't do the video. So I will be getting that video up this weekend. Next week, I will be doing the videos for last month's classes. So if everybody could get those pictures to me. Does anybody have a take 3 from this class that they still need to get to me? So yeah, I probably won't do the videos until Sunday, mainly because I have to get a client order done tomorrow, and all I've done is cut the bag out. That's it. So that has to be done by 5 p.m. tomorrow. She's coming to pick it up, so I gotta get it done. So I won't be doing any extras tomorrow, except for that. And then tomorrow night I am setting up for my Saturday craft fair, and then Saturday craft fair. Saturday craft fair is all day Saturday, and then Sunday I think I'm going to do those videos. So, all right, Diane, you left your take 3 back up north, right? That's okay. So that is my plan, and again, there is a good chance we may get this whole bag done next week, but we will see. That would be good. We're just really moving along fast. I love that it's minimal pieces. It is actually super easy to put together. Honestly, the hardest part, even the rounded bottom isn't bad. The hardest part is doing the swivel clasp, those side connector things, those hourglass ones. And again, that is just because it's awkward to get under the machine to sew. It's not hard. It's just awkward to get under the machine to sew. It would be a lot easier if I did it on my cylinder arm, but I am going to do it on my flatbed because the majority of you have the flatbed. So I'll show you how I wrangle it through my flatbed machine. So, yay! All right, well, thank you, everybody. Great class as usual. You guys all rock. I love each and every one of you. Again, if you have any questions throughout the week, you know what to do. Give me a message if there's anything. I'm only going to do the homework classes if it's requested. So if there's anything that you want a little extra instruction on or to go over again for the homework classes, just shoot me an email or a message on Facebook, And then I will make sure to go live on Thursday afternoon before classes to do that with you. Otherwise, I'm not worrying about it. Everybody seems to know what they're doing, and it's great. So, yay, everybody have a great weekend. Thank you so much for making it so we can all do this. I really do enjoy our Tuesday and Thursdays when we all get together and sew along together. So you guys all rock so much. Anyways, congratulations again to Michelle when she watches this for being the Beans Peeps of the month, for winning the draw that we did today on the live. And there will be another draw. I will do this month's draw before I go away on the 28th. It'll be done early just because I'm not going to be able to do it in Indonesia. So, so good night, everybody, and I will see you later. Bye.